Carl Jung once warned us that the human psyche is not entirely ruled by reason, logic, or light. Beneath the surface of every mind lies something older, more mysterious, and far more dangerous, the unconscious. And within that unconscious lurks the shadow, a realm of suppressed desires, unspoken fears, and impulses that civilized society tries to hide. For women, Jung believed, this shadow often becomes irresistibly attractive when it appears in the figure of a man who embodies darkness. The woman is not merely drawn to his looks or his charm, but to what he represents, the forbidden, the unrestrained, the raw essence of chaos that polite men have buried deep beneath masks of civility. The question is why? Why would a woman who outwardly claims to desire safety, love, and stability secretly yearn for the man who disrupts all of that? Why does she find herself fascinated, sometimes even obsessed, with the very traits that could destroy her? Jung's answer is unsettling. Women are drawn to darkness because within that darkness lies a mirror of their own hidden self. This is not about morality. It's not about good men versus bad men. It's about psychology. Jung understood that attraction is rarely logical. It is symbolic. The darker the man, the more he embodies the projections of a woman's unconscious, the parts of her psyche she does not admit, even to herself. In this video, we are going to explore Carl Jung's brutal truth about why women are drawn to darkness. We will examine the shadow, the anima and animus, the archetypes of desire, and why women cannot escape the magnetic pull of the forbidden. By the end, you will see that what you thought was love is often nothing more than the unconscious calling out for its missing half, found not in light, but in shadow. Part 1. The shadow in female attraction. Carl Jung's concept of the shadow is one of the most important keys to understanding why women are drawn to darkness. The shadow represents everything a person denies, suppresses, or hides from themselves. It is not only cruelty, aggression, and lust. It is also power, confidence, and independence. Anything that society, culture, or upbringing teaches a woman to reject in herself often gets buried in her shadow. Here lies the paradox. The more she denies these aspects in herself, the stronger they become in her unconscious. And when she encounters a man who embodies them openly, she feels magnetically drawn to him. He is living what she represses. He becomes a carrier of her shadow. Think of it like this. A woman raised to be polite, obedient, and agreeable may outwardly despise arrogance, dominance, or danger. Yet when she meets a man who embodies those very qualities, something in her awakens. She feels a strange pull, a fascination that borders on compulsion. She cannot explain it logically because it is not logical, it is psychological. She is drawn to him because he reflects the hidden part of her that longs to break free. Jung warned that this dynamic is extremely dangerous. A woman who does not integrate her own shadow will project it onto men. She will fall for the dark, the reckless, the mysterious, not because these qualities are good for her, but because they represent what she cannot acknowledge in herself. The man becomes a mirror of her unconscious, and she cannot resist looking into it. This explains why women often say, "I don't know why I like him. He's not good for me." Jung would say, of course she doesn't know because the reason is unconscious. The attraction is not to the man himself, but to the darkness he carries. The shadow connection is also why women may be bored with safe, predictable men. A man who shows only light, kindness, reliability, stability, does not stir her unconscious. He represents comfort but not transformation. Darkness, on the other hand, is transformative. It forces her to confront what she has hidden, and this confrontation feels like passion. Part 2. The animus, a woman's inner man. Jung went deeper than the shadow. He also introduced the idea of the anima and animus, the inner gendered soul images that live inside every human being. For men, the anima represents his inner feminine, while for women, the animus represents her inner masculine. And it is here in the animus that we discover why women cannot resist darkness. The animus is not just one image, it evolves in stages. At first it may appear in crude, primal forms, the dark stranger, the dangerous outsider, the warrior, the outlaw. Later, it may evolve into the thinker, the teacher, the guide. But at its most unconscious level, the animus is raw power. And this raw animus often projects itself onto men who embody danger, mystery, and dominance. When a woman meets such a man, her animus comes alive. She feels as if he completes her, because he represents the masculine energy she lacks. But the catch is this: the animus does not project onto safe men. A polite, stable man does not stir her unconscious because he does not activate her hidden power. The animus projects most strongly onto men who embody the forbidden, the dangerous, and the transformative. This is why Jung noted that women often fall for men who awaken their deepest fantasies, not fantasies of safety, but fantasies of danger, of being taken beyond the ordinary. The animus compels her toward the man who carries the qualities she secretly seeks to integrate. But here is the brutal truth. Until a woman becomes conscious of her animus, she does not choose these men, she is chosen by them. Her unconscious drives her, and she rationalizes later. She might tell herself stories. He's different. He just understands me. I can change him. But in reality, her animus is in control. Jung believed that this attraction is not about love in the romantic sense. It is about individuation, the psyche's quest for wholeness. Part 3. Archetypes of the dark male. Carl Jung believed that every culture, every myth, every dream repeats certain patterns of human experience. He called them archetypes, primordial images that live in the collective unconscious. When it comes to why women are drawn to darkness, these archetypes reveal everything. One of the most powerful archetypes is the shadow man, the mysterious outsider, the rebel, the criminal, the man who rejects society's rules. He embodies freedom from conformity. For the woman trapped in social expectations, he is liberation in human form. He frightens her, yes, but he also excites her. His danger is the very reason she desires him. He represents the possibility of living beyond the prison of morality. Another archetype is the trickster, the man who cannot be controlled, who uses wit, charm, and unpredictability. Women feel drawn to him because he destabilizes certainty. He pulls them out of comfort and forces them into the unknown. The trickster laughs at rules, and in doing so, he awakens the hidden part of the feminine psyche that longs to rebel. Then comes the warrior king, the man of strength, dominance, and conquest. Women may fear him, but they also admire his raw vitality. He radiates energy that is larger than life. He seems capable of bending the world to his will. And this dominance appeals to the unconscious anima within a woman, who seeks power to balance her own repressed helplessness. Finally, there is the dark lover, the archetype of dangerous passion. He is not the safe, predictable partner. He is the one who consumes, who transforms, who threatens stability for the sake of intensity. He does not promise security, he promises fire. And fire is what the unconscious craves when life becomes too controlled. Part 4. The Dark Seduction. Why Stability Bores Her. One of Jung's most unsettling insights is this: women are often less drawn to what is safe and stable than to what is transformative. Transformation does not happen in comfort, it happens in chaos. And this is why stability, though necessary for survival, often leaves a woman restless, unsatisfied, or secretly yearning for something more. A man who offers stability alone is a man of the surface. He provides light, but not depth. He is predictable, reliable, perhaps even admirable, but he does not awaken her unconscious. His presence does not stir her shadow. And so, despite his loyalty, she may feel emotionally detached from him. She respects him, but she does not burn for him. In contrast, the dark man is never predictable. He is dangerous, volatile, and untamed. Being with him feels like stepping into a storm. She does not know if she will be safe, and that very uncertainty makes her alive. Jung would say that this experience is not about the man himself, but about the psyche's need to encounter the shadow. Chaos becomes more exciting than safety because chaos awakens the unconscious. This explains why women often create drama even in stable relationships. Jung noted that unconscious forces demand expression, and if they are not integrated, they erupt as restlessness, dissatisfaction, or attraction to danger. A woman with a safe partner may secretly fantasize about darker men, not because she wants to ruin her stability, but because part of her psyche craves transformation. The harsh truth is that stability alone does not fulfill the unconscious feminine. A woman may desire marriage, a home and children, but beneath it, her animus demands a confrontation with darkness. If she cannot find this confrontation within herself, she seeks it in men. And so she sabotages stability, chasing the fire that burns but also transforms. Jung believed that this cycle will repeat until the woman consciously integrates her shadow and her animus. Only then can she find balance, embracing stability without suffocating in it, and embracing passion without destroying herself. Until then, darkness will always be more seductive than light. Part 5. The feminine fascination with forbidden power. Why are women drawn to men who carry darkness? Because darkness is power, not the socially approved kind of power, wealth, titles, or status, but raw, primal, forbidden power. The power to break rules, the power to resist conformity, the power to destroy. Jung explained that the unconscious does not distinguish between good and bad. It only recognizes wholeness. A woman who has been conditioned to suppress her own aggression, lust, or independence will unconsciously project those qualities onto a man who dares to embody them. His rebellion becomes her rebellion. His dominance becomes her dominance. His chaos becomes her chaos. This is why women are fascinated by dangerous men, even if they deny it. The outlaw, the rebel, the predator. He symbolizes the qualities she cannot openly admit she desires. Jung saw this dynamic in myths where women fall for gods of the underworld, Persephone drawn to Hades, Inanna descending to the land of the dead. The descent into darkness is symbolic of transformation. By uniting with the dark male, the woman unites with her own suppressed power. The forbidden nature of this attraction only strengthens it. Society tells women not to desire these men, and yet the prohibition makes them even more irresistible. Jung wrote that the psyche is drawn to what is repressed, and repression fuels desire. The darker the man, the more taboo the attraction, the stronger the unconscious pull becomes. This is why women may leave stable partners for men who offer nothing but danger. To the rational mind, it makes no sense. But to the unconscious, it is inevitable. The psyche seeks wholeness, and wholeness requires the integration of shadow. The forbidden man becomes the doorway to that integration. Part 6. When the shadow becomes possession. Carl Jung warned that what is not integrated in the psyche does not disappear. It grows in the dark, waiting for its moment to take over. For women, this is the danger of being unconsciously drawn to dark men. When the attraction is not recognized as projection, it can escalate into what Jung called possession. Possession means that the unconscious takes control of the personality. A woman under shadow possession no longer sees the man for who he is. She sees him as the embodiment of everything her unconscious longs for. She cannot separate reality from projection. His cruelty feels like passion. His instability feels like freedom. His danger feels like destiny. Jung gave countless examples of this in his clinical work. Women would rationalize toxic relationships by saying, "I know he's bad for me, but I can't help how I feel." From the outside, friends and family cannot understand why she tolerates abuse, neglect, or chaos. But within her psyche, she is not simply with a man. She is with her shadow. To leave him would mean leaving part of herself unacknowledged. The most dangerous form of possession occurs when the animus fully hijacks her mind. Jung described how the animus, when unconscious, does not guide her, it dominates her. It speaks in absolute statements that he is the one. "I cannot live without him." This is fate. These are not logical thoughts. They are the voice of the animus, speaking through her. The result is obsession. The woman may abandon her stability, her values, even her self-respect, chasing after a man who does not love her or who openly harms her. To an outsider, it looks like madness. But to Jung, it is simply the psyche demanding completion through shadow projection. Possession also explains why some women repeat destructive relationship patterns. She leaves one dark man, only to fall into the arms of another just like him. It is not coincidence, it is compulsion. Her unconscious seeks the same archetype again and again, until she either integrates it consciously or is consumed by it. Part 7. Integrating the darkness within. If women are drawn to darkness because of shadow projection, is there a way to break free from destructive attraction? Jung believed there is, but it requires one of the most difficult journeys, the integration of the unconscious. Integration means owning the qualities a woman once denied in herself. It means admitting that she too has aggression, lust, independence, and even cruelty. It means recognizing that these qualities are not purely male. They belong to the human soul as a whole. When she accepts them consciously, she no longer needs to chase them unconsciously in men. This process begins with self-confrontation. Jung called it the confrontation with the shadow. Instead of projecting her shadow onto the rebel, the outlaw, the dangerous lover, she must see that those traits also live within her. She must realize that what she desires in him is actually her own unlived life. Next comes the integration of the animus. The woman must recognize that her inner masculine does not live outside of her, it lives within. She can develop her own strength, her own independence, her own power. When she does this, the compulsive attraction to destructive men weakens. She no longer seeks completion in another, because she has found it in herself. This does not mean she will no longer be attracted to darkness. Jung did not teach repression, he taught balance. Darkness will always have its allure, but once integrated, it loses its compulsive grip. She can be fascinated without being enslaved. She can feel attraction without surrendering her soul. Jung's ultimate goal was individuation, the process of becoming whole. For women, this means no longer being victims of unconscious projection. It means seeing men not as saviors or destroyers, but as human beings, no longer burdened with carrying her shadow. Only then can she truly love, because her love is not possession, it is choice. This is the final truth Jung left us with. Women are drawn to darkness not because they are weak, but because the psyche demands wholeness. Darkness is not the enemy, it is the missing half. But until she faces it within, she will forever search for it without. Carl Jung's brutal truth about desire. So why are women drawn to darkness? Carl Jung gave us the answer, because darkness is the face of the unconscious. The shadow, the animus, the forbidden archetypes, they all represent the pieces of the feminine psyche that have been repressed, silenced, or denied. The dark man is not just a man, he is a mirror, and when a woman looks into that mirror, she sees both her fear and her desire. But Jung also gave us a warning. What is not integrated becomes possession. Attraction can turn to obsession, passion to destruction, love to slavery. If a woman does not recognize that her attraction is projection, she becomes trapped in endless cycles of chaos. She mistakes the man for destiny, when in truth, he is only the reflection of her own hidden self. The only way forward is integration. When a woman confronts her own shadow, when she embraces her own inner masculine, when she claims the power she once chased in men, only then does she become free. Only then does she stop being pulled compulsively into darkness, and instead learns to carry the darkness within her. Jung's brutal truth is this: women are not really in love with dark men. They are in love with the parts of themselves they see reflected in them. The darkness outside is simply the key to the darkness within. And so the question every woman must ask herself is not, why do I desire him? But what part of myself is he showing me? Because until she answers that, she will never know whether she is in love with the man or only with her shadow.